the best for you tonight. We have Zwaanswyk High School, and you can hear how noisy they are in the background. So
We're not
Absolutely, Zwaanswyk High School
absolutely.
in the house tonight, guys.
There we go.
Hello,
So,
everybody.
so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull them on the screen, and there they are. Guys,
Hello. Good evening. Good evening. So good to be with you tonight, Sharon. Thank you for the opportunity, and just thank you for allowing us to kind of go public and go live. It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
yes, guys, can you hear there? That is Shandre that just greeted all of us, and she just said that she loves being on School Corridor, and I'm sure you're going to make them feel very welcome. You can ask them
Of
any
course.
question, and you, of course, they're going to speak to us about their school, Zwaanswyk High School, which is out in Zwaanswyk Retreat area. So they're going to speak
Correct.
about that, but you can ask your questions, you can chat with them, and they will engage, and of course, we're going to engage as well. So I'm going to allow Shandre and SMT just to say hi to you, and then perhaps to say one or two things and give a shout out if they saw somebody on. So Shandre, you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Lovely. Thank you, Sharon. Well, firstly, to say my biggest shout out tonight is to my SMT, the team that's gathered here with me this evening. You know, Sharon, in this job, there are days where you ask yourself, what have we done? What have we gotten ourselves into? But I would not be doing this with any other team than the one that I have around me tonight. And so a huge shout out to them. I'm really looking forward to spending the next hour with you guys, 45 minutes just sharing. And then, of course, to my family who I know are watching, my mom, both my brothers and sisters, my sister watching. I'm happy for being with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Shandre. Shandre, I think I know you're working on a second computer because you had a few tech problems. So we're getting a bit of feedback. So maybe if you can just check if your audio is down on the computer because you may be picking up a lot of echo there. But that's not a problem. You can sort that out. Thanks for making us all feel welcome. Even I feel welcome on School Corridor now. So I'm going to ask the others just to say hi as well. Anushka, the marker, right up to minute 29.
Well,
There we go.
I definitely tried to mark, and then of course you all were talking and you were dancing, Sharon. So the words were coming in from the script in front of me, but nothing actually registered yet. So the pen's away. The pen's gone.
Thanks, Anushka. Anybody else want to say hi to the community? Shanae, you look like you're bursting to say hi.
No. I see a few of my ex-students that I was on school that joined us this evening.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Sharon, if you didn't know,
Wow.
I'm a poor Swan student myself.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Stories about it.
Yes.
And Jo Marie. Come, Jo Marie.
Good evening. Hello. Yes, I'm Jo Marie. And I see one of my colleagues is watching, Dini Combrink. So shout out to Dini. And then, I also think my family is listening. So it's going to be interesting.
That's good. That's good. And then we have...
Love that.
Is it
Love
Astrid?
that. Love that.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'd just like to shout out to Zwaanswyk community, the parents, the learners. I would like to say hi there to 9B. They said I let him go this year, but also my grade 11s that I took on this year.
Wonderful, wonderful. I like that you guys have your families on and your friends and the whole Zwaanswyk community, because that is already telling us a story, you know. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks for greeting everybody, and feel free to acknowledge anybody that you see, friends, family, ex-students like Shanae, who's coming on tonight. So I'm going to start the ball rolling because we don't have too much time. Shandre, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Can you just tell us something about Zwaanswyk High School? Tell us, your experience as when did you arrive there? tell us something about the school so that we can sort of have an idea of what Zwaanswyk is all about.
Lovely. Thank you, Sharon. Thanks very much. So, Zwaanswyk High School, as Sharon said earlier, is based in the southern suburbs, Retreat to Kai area. We are a co-ed high school. I started at Zwaanswyk High School 4 years ago. January 2017, I joined this amazing team. And I need to say that the last 4 years of Zwaanswyk High School has been a period of complete change at our school. We are a school that started in a space where, as a staff, we identified we were not happy, things were not where we wanted them to be, and we made the commitment to embark on a 5-year program of managing change, introducing new initiatives at our school, and just bringing the school up to a level where we felt we were serving our community even better than we had before. And so, Sharon, to say that it's been a wonderfully exciting 4 years that I've had at Zwaanswyk. It's been amazing to serve the community. Our children at Zwaanswyk High School come from Lavender Hill. They come from the Retreat area. We serve the Steenberg community. We serve Westlake, Strandfontein Village. We have some learners from Grassy Park, and then further afield like Kenwyn, Rondebosch East, and that kind of a thing. So really a melting pot of communities that gather at our school every day, and a staff that are saying, can we look at who our children are, what the needs are, and can we as a school shape ourselves in a way that serves the needs of that community? And so that's really what's driven the change that has happened at our school in the last 4 years. Oh, wow. It has been really exciting. It has been really challenging. It has been such a fulfilling time. Lots of ups, lots of downs. Change comes at a cost. And so we realized that taking on a new look, embracing a new brand for Zwaanswyk High School was going to mean something to us and to our community, Sharon. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the task that we undertook in January 2017. We have not looked back. It has been, as I said earlier, a very fulfilling journey. And we are now, 4 years later, Sharon, we are now starting to reap the reward and the benefit of the change that we have managed, the new initiatives that we've introduced, and just the stability, the structure, the focus, the functionality that we've introduced at our school. The education theorists in our audience will know change theory talks about the idea of change taking between 5 and 10 years to become effective. And so we're well on our way to that change theory becoming a reality at our school. And we're very excited.
Wow.
Very excited.
That is a very exciting principle. Thanks, Shandre. Yes, I like what you're trying I like what you're throwing into the space where you say that it's exciting, but there are challenges. And so I'm hoping you guys speak to that as well later. So thanks for that. Anybody else want to tell us a little bit about your school? How old is your school? How long have you been at the school as well? I see Anushka's bursting to talk.
Sure, I can totally talk, Sharon.
Perhaps Anushka can share, yes.
Yeah, of course. I've forgotten how old the school is. How old are we, Shandre?
Good question.
We were opened officially in 1953.
1953, okay.
So we're one of the oldest schools in the southern suburbs. Yes, 1953.
1953.
Yes.
That's about
Go
60,
ahead,
67, Anushka.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So I think the first thing I would like to say, Sharon, is we are here without one SMT member, who's Abigail Dearmas. We spoke earlier on you and the rest of the team about how Abby is dealing with some difficulty in the family. So Abby, I'm sure you're watching. If not, we'll send you a YouTube clip. We are thinking about you, Abs. You are always with us. So even though you aren't here, Astrid gave a shout out to 9B in the grade 11s. Hello to everybody, in particular Abigail Dearmas, and of course our chairperson on the school governing body, who Joan Rees just acknowledged as well. Yes. So I started at Zwaanswyk not in 1953. You made me pretty happy earlier when you called me the young one. I'm not the young one any longer. Shanae is currently the young one. She got the blue in the hair, blue for Zwaanswyk, obviously. I started, I think, about 8 years ago. I actually don't remember. I started my career at Zwaanswyk. I was studying part-time. I came on as an English teacher. Glenda, who I see there from the bottom of the screen now, because Glenda and the camera angles, it's just... Glenda. So I started, I was mentored by Glenda Walker, who still leads me in the English department. And now it's very strange that I seem to have climbed up a bit, and now I am the acting deputy. So it's a nice time. It really is. A lot of people are always surprised to hear as well that Astrid is younger than what I am. And I just thought I'd say that because...
Really?
She's going for you, Astrid. She's going for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Anushka. So you're the acting deputy at the moment. Wow, stunning stuff. Astrid, anything? When did you start at Zwaanswyk, and what stands out for you about your school?
Well, Anushka, I am the baby at Zwaanswyk actually in the SMT, because I started last year, July. I actually left teaching after I started 2011, and then I left not last year, the year before, thinking I'll never enter a classroom again. I'll probably help out here and there. And when the English post got available, 2 or 3 people sent it to me, and I thought, okay, if not, why not? And because jobs were scarce, and I couldn't find a place anywhere else. And I applied, and I just found myself. I told my husband, it is hard work. It is. I'm busy all the time, but I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy being there. So I started last July, and Shandre Otto came to me after COVID, I think, and asked me if I could join them on the SMT. And I asked her, "Do you think I'm ready?" And she said, "Yes, she thinks so." And they're really working with me. They're really supportive. I can go to them with any problem, with any challenge, and they see to it if I cannot deal with it myself. And really, like Miss Otto said earlier, a good team. Really, they're on the ball. They're on the ball.
You on the ball. We on the ball.
On the ball.
We on the ball.
Definitely.
Thanks, Astrid. And Shanae, anything you want to share with us?
I started along with Miss Otto in 2017, January. I attended Zwaanswyk. My whole high school career is at Zwaanswyk. Glenda Walker and Jo-Marie Skuman taught me as well during my stay at Zwaanswyk. I did my practical at Zwaanswyk. Now I am SMT at Zwaanswyk. Zwaanswyk is basically all that I know, and hopefully all that I will know for a while now.
Oh, wow.
For sure.
Indeed, Miss Otto. Indeed.
Look,
Absolutely.
did you hear that, Shandre?
I'm making notes, Sharon. I'm making notes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ik luister.
Jo-Marie, we're going to call on you now, and we've got a few people coming on. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We're just going to greet a couple of guys, and then I'm going to ask Jo-Marie just to give us some input. Alistair says, good evening, colleagues, and then pull up anything there for us quickly. Yeah, I'd like you to pull it up again, please. I want to just acknowledge. That is Alistair Adams from Zwaanswyk, your neighbor.
Hello,
hi to everybody. And then
Good
Madeline
evening,
said,
sir.
good evening, neighbors from Zwaanswyk Academy. So your neighbors
Aw.
are here tonight, guys.
They were, yes.
And then, of course,
Hello,
we
guys.
have Renee Julius says, good evening, Miss Otto. Awesome to have you. Pull it up there on the screen. Oh, there. Evening, Miss Otto. Awesome to have you speak on this platform. Fantastic leader.
Renee,
Wow.
thank you.
And then, of course, we have Shamila Carter, who says, and where's that comment? I'm doing an excellent. Oh, she's speaking to you, Anushka. She says you are doing an excellent job as the deputy. Wow, that is
Amazing.
awesome. That's
Kaida.
awesome.
She's the parent of Zakira. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then we have is it Keisha Minter who says Keisha Anushka recognizes her. She says, as an ex-learner, I can truly attest to the positive change brought over the years. I love the work. Wow. And then
Oh, thank
Awesome.
you,
Thank you,
Keisha.
Keisha.
Thank you, Keisha. We miss you, Keisha, but thank you.
beautiful. And then of course we have what's it? Zenith? Is it Zinandi?
Sanandi.
Zinandi.
Okay, hey.
Team Zwaanswyk
Amazing.
High School.
Oh,
Awesome stuff.
man.
And then I'm really going to just pull up this one before we give Jo Marie a chance. Bonita says, proud to be part of the team. So you guys know Bonita. And then
She's a yes.
the
Hello,
last one,
Bonita.
Simpson says,
The nicer Daniels.
oh,
Like Anushka always say.
yes. And then Celeste says, great school, fantastic conduct in every way. And then, of course, Anthony, I must put Anthony's one on because that's your neighbor. He says, good
And
evening to
Adams.
the Zwaanswyk High School leadership team. Great neighbors. Looking forward to an interesting session. That is from Anthony.
Hello, Mr. Adams. Hello.
Yeah. Jo Marie, tell us your experience at Zwaanswyk. Where did you start there? And yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
So I graduated in 2005
Okay.
and I started in 2006 at Zwaanswyk High School. And I went abroad 2 years later and I sent my CV back when we were returning. So I went over with my husband and asked if they have a job available. And I really wanted to go back because of the community that we serve.
Mm.
I think that we've got very supportive parents and also the staff that I worked with.
Oh,
So I started again in 2009 and I've never left. So I'm still there. Yes, so that's my story. Yes.
Thanks, Jo Marie.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
guys, I don't know if you picked up, but we just have women on tonight. And the entire, look at them.
Can we just get a shout out for all the women leaders in education today? We are representing.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Shandre, I was telling Anushka earlier that I went online because when I realized yesterday that I'm dealing with a 7 woman panel as an SMT, I was like totally blown away. And I thought, let me just do some research and see, are there other, SMTs that comprise entirely of women folk? So you're sending out a very strong message. So to the community, if you know of any other school in South Africa where you have the entire SMT, that are made up of women, and I'm not talking about single single education schools like your Wynberg schools where you will have the boys' school and the girls' school and so forth. I'm talking about a co-ed school like Zwaanswyk. And then let us know, because I don't know if they're making history as
Of course we are. Of course we are.
That's what we do.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks so much. So that is very interesting. And then just the next point that I want to raise, and Crystal says, Charlene, yes, he just pulled Charlene up. She's like showing there. She says, women leadership. Thanks, Charlene. Thanks for coming as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Matthews. Thank you, ma'am. Sharon, can I just say, though, that this was not a contrived decision. The SGB and I didn't sit down and go, we are going to look only for women to lead. One of the very important aspects for us at Zwaanswyk High School is development of people.
Oh.
So we obviously are a high school, so this means we are committed to the development of our children, and we look at what do we need to do to develop our children and challenge them in all the different aspects of the growth of an adolescent. But at the same time, the SGB and the SMT and I are very committed to the development of our staff. So developing the adults on the campus is as important as developing the children. And so as the developmental opportunities are made available, and this is something that we are really committed to, you look at who the ones are that are stepping up because they want to make a difference, because they want to have that impact, because they want to influence the learners and other colleagues at our school. And so I want to say it's not a contrived thing. It's completely open. We look at all of our staff and developing staff as much as we develop the learners as well. This is something very important for us at our school. And so I really want to highlight that this evening.
Yeah. Now I'm glad you did, because you see, it only looks like an anomaly because we are so used to just seeing mainly males. And at some point you'll perhaps have a balance where you'll have male and female. So it's very encouraging. But you must acknowledge, Shandre, that this picture that we see is one that is probably the kind of model that we also need in South Africa. So that's why I'm excited about the fact, if I also look at your experience base, you know, you've got young people, you've got more experienced people. And so I like that mix of people with experience and bringing in people with perhaps less experience, but helping to develop and coach and mentor, because we need to see to the second layer of leadership. You know, we need that in our schools. So I like what I see and I like what I hear. But let me not dominate. Remember, I'm supposed to sit back and just enjoy what is happening. So
definitely.
So just tell us, you know, about the challenges that you guys experience at school, and perhaps something about your learners. Are there any specific areas that you feel as a school that you guys are sort of grappling with? That you perhaps winning in some areas, you know, just tell us, because we don't want to paint a picture of things being so rosy at school, and we know that schools are, you know, there are good things happening, which I'll ask you later, but I just want you to speak about the type of learners and the kinds of challenges that you face as a leadership, having this huge responsibility of making sure that every single child achieves. And you gave us the spread, you said from Lavendale right up to Rondebosch East. So it would be very interesting to hear, you know, how you're dealing with your diverse population. Okay, so I don't know who's going to start.
Absolutely. Guys, is there anybody who wants to start, or can I go? I also don't want to dominate though.
Go first. Go first, please.
Lovely. So Sharon, can I just tell you that I think, and our listeners tonight, our audience tonight, I think the diversity of our school is what makes us so rich and so effective. And so the challenges vary from, we have children at our school that we need to feed, that we need to look after. We contribute to transport to and from school financially. They come from homes with a serious need. And so they also come from homes where there aren't resources that feed into their academics and to their development necessarily. And so looking at that group of learners at our school, where are the needs, the material needs, the resource needs, and how do we as the school start to source facilities and funding that can speak into the needs of those children. So we start with the very basics. You know, there's a theory going around, a meme going around at the moment in education spaces that say you can't get to Bloom's if you haven't gone through Maslow. And so we really as a management team and as a staff, we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and what is it that our children, the very basic needs that they have, and we speak into that and we feed into that, pardon the pun, as much as we can. And then we start to look at what is hampering the healthy development and the healthy growth of our teenagers, looking at the communities that we serve, looking at the challenges that those communities are trying to overcome. And we want to figure out what's our role in helping our children overcome the challenges that the home communities present them with. So that's quite a labor-intensive exercise, because you're dealing with the whole range of social, emotional, trauma, mental, physical challenges that the typical adolescent living in the Western Cape in 2020 faces. And I'm not saying that necessarily at Zwaanswyk we have all the answers, but what we try and do is then draw in outside service providers that can come alongside us and help to speak to the needs, the developmental, social, emotional needs of our children, and we try and meet that. And then we take it one step further, because our motto to our children is we are a springboard. So you're starting out at Zwaanswyk High School. It's not the end, it's the beginning. And so where are you springing off to from here? We are changing the mindset at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of tertiary education is no longer optional in the society that we live in the country that we live in the global community that we want you to be able to operate in. And so our conversations are about, where are you going to from Zwaanswyk High School? What will you be pursuing in terms of tertiary education? How can we help you make that real? How can we help you source funding for that, bursaries, etc., etc.? And so there's a whole range of challenges that we are trying to assist our learners with. It's exhausting. It's a heck of a job we've taken on. But Sharon, look at the team that I've got around me. I mean, it happens. You know, I don't have to convince you of that. You can see that. Perhaps the acting deputy would like to come in here.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, Shans. It's always so difficult to speak after Shandre, you know, because on the one hand, I'm watching the comments on Facebook and everyone's like, oh, Shandre, what a strong woman. And I said to Shandre I think it was on Monday, no, it was last week Friday, I said to Shandre, I'm trying to find my identity to not be in your shadow all the time, because my parents are relatively well known as well. Then I've got this tall principal next to me, and it's just... so I think, again, Shandre's covered a lot of it. I do want to just highlight, though, we are, as high schools go in the South, population of just under 700. We have a teaching staff of about 30. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to be quite intimate in terms of knowing who our children are. So identifying things like what a child's need is or what a family's need is easier for us to do. And again, I have to commend the team Shandre speaks about. You know, the grade head system at our school, I believe, works very well. The grade head at our school is the only one who moves up with their grade. So Shanae at the moment is a grade 8 head. She will next year be the grade 9 head and so on. And so there's that one constant in our child's life. And I think what's so important about that is the familiarity is built, the relationship is built, which means should there be something that is required from the parent to learn a body, they know exactly who to approach. I also want to highlight exactly as Shandre spoke about, our children do come with their own particular set of baggage. And look, we all have baggage. So the metaphor I think a lot of us use, because Mr. Simon just taught me about the whole hashtag blessed thing, you know, the prayer hands. The metaphor I believe a lot of us talk about is the cross people bear. And our children have their own cross to bear. Shandre spoke about the communities they come from, the ills they have in their communities. We outsource as much as we can to be able to support our children, to keep in mind that finishing high school is not the end of it. Finishing high school is the start of it. So we keep highlighting for our children and emphasizing that this is the start of something so much better. And when you look at somebody like Shanae, and I'm sorry I keep speaking about you, Shanae, but when we look at someone like Shanae, we know the home she comes from. We know that she was at our school. No joke, will not, but she can talk if she wanted to about the intervention the school had to do with Shanae when she was a learner.
No, we will not.
Let's get out of the bag.
That's an old house.
I think what's so important about us being a strong woman leadership team is it also shows our children you can take instruction from those who so historically are deemed unfit. You know, we lead males. I lead males at the school. You know, we all lead males at the school. You watch male colleagues, you know, come to you for advice, speak into what it is that we do. And I think it's so important to model for our children. It doesn't matter who the person is or what they look like or what their belief system is. There's hard work, and we model the positive for our children all the time. So as Shandre says, we're tired very often on Fridays. By 4 o'clock, our eyes are like this because it's not. But I would not do it anywhere else. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. Thanks, Anishka. Sure. Yeah, I don't want to, but I'm picking up a lot of, there's a deep sense of caring for the learners and really understanding the learners as a whole being,
True.
not denying that you are struggling because they so many different, their own pictures, their own lives, bringing in the end. But the focus that you're giving, Anushka and Chandra and everybody else, is that you are important as a human being, and don't see this.
Yes,
We just a springboard, like you said, which is quite an
absolutely.
unusual metaphor, because usually we see grade 12 really as you've arrived, and you say, no, that is but the gateway now, opening the next gateway for you. Really powerful stuff. So let me not get all carried away. And I think Chris is having a tough time putting the messages on. So guys, whoever's watching, you're gonna have to read it, because I still want to hear more and more about what Zwaanswyk has to offer. So I'm going to allow one of the others to add to what Chandra and Anushka said. Jo Marie is like shaking her head and saying, I'm next, I'm next, I'm next. You are
Really?
next.
No, but I want to say, listening to the principal and our deputy, and just from a grade 8's perspective, communication is so important all the time with all the learners. So the parents need to know what's expected. The learners needs to know what is expected. And I think my biggest difficulty is, and frustration is, if the parents is not on board, because we're nothing without our parents. Most of our parents is very supportive, but we need to know as a grade 8, and Sinead can vouch for this, and Astrid, that we need to know within our grade, every child, what is going on in their homes, where are they coming from. If they're not at school, we pick the phone up and we call. Where are you? Are you okay? Checking in. So, just that constant communication is important. And like I said, if you don't have the support of the parents, that becomes a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah. I like that. I like that you said now, Jo Marie, that there's another flip that I'm picking up here. You said we are nothing without our parents.
True.
Usually the accusation is usually our parents are not coming to the party, and therefore I like that you're not victims. You are saying, yes, parents, you have that responsibility, but we are nothing without you. And you're recognizing parents, and that is what you're insisting
I
on, that
can't hear you, Sharon.
communication. So thanks for raising that, Jo Marie. Shanae, you want to add, or you want to give us another lens on the Zwaanswyk family that you have? The children, the parents, your colleagues.
I want to add on what was said about how we get to know our learners. So when I joined the SMT, because I'm young, and Anushka made it very known I'm the youngest. So she kept telling me, oh, I'm no longer the baby, you're the baby now. So I knew, and as long as I've been there, I've been watching the SMT, and I knew, listen, Shanae, you have big shoes to fill. I knew it. And honestly, I feared it. I feared it. And I kept asking advice. And the team that's joining us now, they all help me wherever they can, and they still do. And I remember Glenda, that's in her absence, said to me, whenever Miss Otto is going to call you in, so Glenda calls me Palaiki. She says to me, Palaiki, you need to know your kids. And I said to her, how is it possible for me to know? But for example, today I did one of my grade 8s on a surname, Zara Bailey, and I said, good afternoon, Miss Bailey. And the look on Zara's face was priceless. And she said to me, ma'am, do you still remember my surname, even though I wasn't here for months? And I said to her, of course. And the light that was on her face was the best feeling. So yes, we do give extra, we do put in the time to get to know our.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can say honestly that to our staff, it's more than just content. It's more than that. We are invested in our kids' lives. We want to know, and our kids. We at that point where our kids want to share with us. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. For
So
sure.
one of your systems are on. We're getting a lot of feedback, and I'm just scared that the community may be missing out on valuable things that you're saying. Guys, you're saying such powerful stuff. Krista, did you put something on there that you see? I can't watch him and yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I love it. No,
like,
absolutely.
yes, I like, you're saying so many things. For example, know the children. I mean, that is very deep. And thank you for telling us that, Shandre, that we need to know the children. Not just the names of the sons, but we need to know them deeply. We need to know their families. I like that deep, caring, relational message that's coming through, really. And I think that is what children need. They may think that we're being difficult, but if they know that deep down you care so deeply about them and their whole selves, shock.
Yes.
Whew.
Yes.
Anyway,
Very true. Very
is there
true.
anything else you want
And
to add?
Sharon,
Yes, Esther.
Sharon, if I can just add here.
Okay.
So Jo Marie made such a salient point earlier. She said we are nothing without our parents. And I think this is so key for schools to understand. We are in partnership, full partnership with the parents of the children that we lead. So it's not a case of mom and dad drop you off at 8 o'clock and then you become our problem, and then at 3 o'clock we send you home and then you become their problem. It is a 24-hour day, a day, 7-day a week partnership that the school and the parents embark on. Jo Marie also mentioned earlier the whole idea of communication that needs to be so constant, two-way communication. The partnership does not work, does not benefit the child if there isn't that two-way communication. And so we've worked very hard at Zwaanswyk High School over the last couple of years to invite our parents in as much as we can.
Okay.
Please come and see me, we need to talk. Please come and have a look at what's happening at school. We're having another meeting, we're having another function. There's a special event for the grade 8s, there's a special event for the grade 10s. So inviting our parents into our space as often as we possibly can has been an important cog in that partnership and making that work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Are you there, Sharon?
Yeah. Thanks so much, Shandre.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm picking that up. I'm picking that up strongly. I just want to hear if Astrid wants to add anything. Astrid, because you're looking like you. When does it win?
Well, I can only echo what everyone has already said. If I can just think, like I said, I'm only SMT since July this year. And when the grade 11 started with the exams, I got confused with the one girl's name, and the other girl said, "Ma'am, but you are graded. You must know our names." So even the children have that expectation for us to know them. Even though I only really know them for a month, they expect me to recognize them and acknowledge them for who they are.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a good thing, that they know that they also a person. It's not just coming from the adult. And in the partnership, that is really important. I think I even mentioned it in my email before, where I said we cannot do school if there's not a parent, teacher, and child partnership.
Yeah.
It has to be a partnership between the three parties.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we lose one link, then the chain is broken.
Yeah.
But I think we said basically everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Astrid. Thanks for underscoring that. Keisha is saying, this is so true. Teachers would easily know when someone is missing from school. I remember Miss O and Miss D always checking up to find out if it was okay when I missed school. Now that's a powerful testimony. I'm just trying, Crystal's like looking at me because I'm not even reading some of the comments here. So before we move on to the next part of the conversation, Chris, is there a question? Yeah, okay, pull it up first and then I'll see if I can read it. Here's a question from Kristen Lee Bredekam. She says, "Good evening, Sharon and the Zwaanswyk team. I've heard so many good things about the school. I have a question for the principal. I've heard so much about this no-nonsense principal of Zwaanswyk. And I'd just like to know Kristen, there's some truth in that. But anyway, hold on. And I'd just like to know, how do you, now this is for you, Shandre, how do you as a female leader manage criticism regarding your practices? I know that this is a heavy question and it's still early, so I don't mind waiting till the end for the answer. So the question is, how do you handle criticism, knowing that you're assertive, knowing that you're comfortable in your skin, you're a good leader, and because you're a woman, whether we like it or not, women will always get some kind of flack from the community because we live in a biased, stereotypical society. Okay, so Shandre, over to you.
That's a tough question. It's a good question, but it's a tough question. So to the person that asked, thank you so much. I think everybody has a comment on what is happening at schools. We've all been to school, we've all attended a school, and so there's always an opinion on what's happening, whether it's a good, bad, or ugly opinion. My approach has always been, let's talk. Let's talk. I have no problem with somebody saying, you made a decision there. I don't think that was the best one. Can we engage? My child has come home and has said this. I'm not happy. Can we look at how we can address it? I welcome parents, even learners, Sharon. We're a high school and we are teaching our children to develop critical thinking skills, to develop an analysis, to be able to formulate an opinion, and then to be able to express that opinion. So even our children at Zwaanswyk High School, staff members, parents, are invited to engage when there is something that you are not happy with. I need to say that as long as criticism is constructive, how can we use what the person is highlighting to build better, to change our systems and our structures to serve better? I'm very happy to welcome that and to look at that. We are not a school that sweeps things under the carpet. So if we've done something wrong, if I've made the wrong decision, if we've erred in some way, I welcome parents and learners coming to say, Ms. Otto, we're not happy, let's talk. I need to say it's not easy.
Yeah.
I pour a lot of myself into my job. It's your person. I mean, Sharon, you've been in education as long as I am. It becomes who we are. We pour ourselves into our jobs. And my SMT do this as well. And so it's difficult sometimes to hear criticism, to hear a complaint, to hear a grievance, but it's important to hear it. And so I think what we've done very well is we built a support structure amongst ourselves for one another.
Oh, wow.
There have been days where I've had a good cry in an SMT meeting. There have been days where I've had a good rant in an SMT meeting. There are so many days where we have good, meaningful conversations at the various levels, at SMT meetings, departmental meetings, etc., because we really want to deal with what the unhappiness is.
Wow.
And so I don't have a problem with criticism. I think it's what we do with it that actually determines how we move forward. If we're going to use it as a mold, absolutely.
Yeah.
To break someone with, I don't see that there's a point to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Shandre, you know, this is the kind of candor that people want to see. That leaders are vulnerable, leaders feel the pain, but leaders walk into the fire to deal with it.
Yeah.
And you acknowledge, I don't have the answers, and you cry when you want to cry. Wow, guys, listen, my kind of leader.
Yep.
Thanks for asking that question, Kristen, and I'm sure you're glad that Ms. Otto didn't give you a picture like, I don't care what people. She does care, but she knows she must process and find solutions. I like that. Thanks so much. Okay, there's so much echo, and I don't know which side it's coming from. So, is there anybody who wanted to chip in? Can we pull AJ on? Okay, can I just do another comment?
Correct.
Yes, of course.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. I think we're speaking at cross angles here because yeah, something is happening in the background. But bear with us, guys. It's hectic stuff. Yeah, it's big stuff and hectic stuff. Hi, Adrian. Adrian is calling from the east. He loves to tune in. He was a department head at Florian Primary School, and he's now working in the east. So we're hoping to see him come back as one of our senior leaders again.
Man. We're with you, Sharon.
Yeah,
We're with you.
Adrian says, yes, he's talking about the SMT has a lot to offer, and he speaks about your professionalism, and he says 21st century skills is picking up so many things that you're mentioning, and he ends and he says, it's hot tonight. Wow. Did you hear that, Shandre? He says it's hot tonight. Okay, right. While Krista's looking for another comment, I think, and this Anthony, there was another ex-student on there, Jason.
So Sharon, can I say this? Is this a on the roof and making this comment?
I think so.
Adrian van der Werf, yes.
Yes. Sharon, while you're looking at those comments, can I just say to AG van der Hoeven, whoever he is, so would you like to join South Africa anytime soon? Can we schedule an interview for you? Thank you for your kind words.
Adrian, did you hear that, Adrian? Look, he comes from Florida. If I had been a principal, that's one of the guys I would have snagged. Seriously, I would have just grabbed him and
There we go.
I think I may have used a very emotive word now. Jason, just pull up Jason's comment quickly, guys. Thanks so much for commenting and thanks for being in the house. Thanks for making the conversation alive, and I'm sure you love what you're hearing from the Zwaanswyk SMT. And then Jason Duplessis says, guys, good evening, Sharon.
Jason.
He says, great being back at school, Corridor. Yes, you disappeared, Jason. I missed your talks. And then he says, I'm proud that you are speaking to my school. As a former Zwaanswyk High School RCL chair, it brings me great joy to see and hear the growth, the development, and the progress happening at our school. Well done to the leadership. I'm excited to witness the new heights the school will achieve. Isn't that fabulous?
Amazing. That's amazing.
Wow, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
That's from Jason.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, now just talk about some of the highlights. So we heard we're getting a very balanced view of what it's like at schools. There's a real tussle between doing amazing stuff and struggling, conflict and tensions and love and hate and bringing people in and people wanting, we're getting the picture. Beautiful. Now I want you to be just talking about the highlights. What are some of the highlights you would like us to know about at your school?
Can I answer this one first?
Yes, go
because I see you want to talk. I see the mouth, and I was like, let me go. So I think it's kind of both a highlight and a low light for us. We have struggled to attain 100% pass rate for our grade 12s.
Okay.
We've come close every year in the high 90s, and obviously we start by saying we're so dead proud of all our children every single day. So a low light is we've never gotten for a while now 100% pass rate. But I think the highlight that comes from that is, and we say it to our children pretty often, is watching what they've been able to achieve despite the baggage that they come with. So I think a lot of the pride you get from teaching, they speak about there's a certain desire, there's a pride, there's a whatever it is that comes with teaching. You don't feel that fulfillment in anything else. When you can see where a child who struggled, let's say academically in a certain grade, and you see that they manage to keep up with their peers and they produce marks that are good enough for them. There's this feeling, I talk a hell of a lot, but there's a feeling not even I can describe. And so I think that's probably one of the best highlights we have. Shandre spoke about growth. It's the growing of our children, in partnership, of course, with our parents. It's the growth even of us. We look at how Shandre got that comment now from that parent. It was a good comment about she's heard so much about Ms. Otto's no-nonsense approach. Shandre started off by saying she's only as strong as the team that she leads. Kind of set up to allow people to achieve that. I'm incredibly proud to work at Zwaanswyk for. And again, we're small and we know each other and we get along really well. I mean, Jomery is my homie, These are things that we are. So we do have relationship with the children, with the parents, with our colleagues. And I think It's the collective effort to watch a child succeed despite what they come from.
Yeah.
That, to me, is probably the best part about it.
Yeah, thanks. I wonder, is there any way that we can pull Glenda Walker on that's at the back and then maybe drop Shanae for a moment? You took us
That's
all, I
fine.
think Crystal just took us all of the screen. He's trying to bring the other member on. Guys, these people are even testing my
Thank you,
program.
Christo. Thank you, Christo. Thank you.
My program can only accommodate 6 of us, but Shandre and her team said, but
Yes.
Sharon, you can make the program work. What can I
Of course.
say? We're trying. We're
We
trying.
challenge you.
And
We
yes,
challenge
that's
you from
the plan.
Zwaanswyk. We push those boundaries. We push those boundaries.
Yeah.
Sharon, can I ask Jo just to share a little bit in terms of highlights? Because I know her heart is burning to just share with
How
you.
do you know that? Well, just off the top of my head, a few of the highlights is when Miss Otto joined us, and she spoke about this when she started. She spoke about the brand. So we've always been Zwaanswyk High School, and it was the Swan, you know. But when Shandre came, it was let's rebrand. Let's be proud of our brand, you know. And the carpets in the school building has got the Swan of Zwaanswyk on it. We've got flags outside, you know, just upgrading the building. We have looked at the uniform that has been transformed a little bit. We changed it for the girls and the blazers, and we are incredibly proud of the learners, and that for me is a highlight. The way they look, the way they present themselves. Look, it's hard work. We fight about hair, we fight about uniform, but it's important that we all have the same common goal. So that's one of the things I'm incredibly proud of, to be associated with Zwaanswyk. And I think Miss Otto did a hell of a good job to do, you know, to do that, to brand the school. The second thing is, for me, it's a highlight that all the windows in our school is fixed. We don't have one broken window. Every class is fitted with a overhead projector, not an overhead projector, what do you call
Data
it?
projector.
A
Data
data
projector.
projector. There we go. I was scared that my English airtime was going to run. But we've got whiteboards in every classroom. I'm just saying that we've got all the necessary tools, you know, in place to teach effectively. Every grade 8 has got an office with a phone. We've got computers that's working. So, you know, things like this that makes our jobs easier. Communicating with the parents, which is so important, that we spoke about earlier, for me is a highlight. And the list goes on, you know. Prize givings, when Anushka spoke about the children's faces lighting up when they receive a certificate, when they walk over, and when the RCL is being announced. And, you know, because of COVID, we're probably not going to have one this year. But things like that, that's highlights. And all of those events has been stepped up, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks so much, Shambhani. Glenda, can you hear us? Did Glenda perhaps disappear?
I think we've lost her along the way, Sharon.
Okay, because I was going to say, if she's still in the background, she could have chatted to us even though we can't see her. But if she's left, it's fine. She's probably watching. Glenda, don't worry, next time we're kicking Shandre off. And we're putting you on, because Shandre has to go and help another school now. Yeah. Anyway.
No, wait. Can I
waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Shanae, is there any highlight you want to mention, Shanae and Astrid? And
can I go first?
Yes, you may.
I'd also just like to say with Jo Mary, she's saying the things that we have in the building and how we built the building. That's one of the first things that I commented on when I came to Zwaanswyk to Miss Otto. I was like, wow, look at your bathroom, look at your office. I was like, it was just different. It was like she said, there's pride in who we are and where we are. And Miss Otto just said, you know, there's nothing that we do. Make a phone call and ask, can you help? Can you assist? It's not that we have the money and we just splurge. It was, listen here, we have a need, can you help us out? And they made it happen. And I'm saying they because I wasn't with them at the moment. And what they, sorry, I'm getting an echo. The other thing is the prize giving, the brand ambassador, they have a, we have to choose someone who basically is an ambassador of our brand, whether it's in uniform, behavior in class, and so each teacher gets to nominate a learner for themselves, and then we write a message for them on the certificate, the brand ambassador certificate. And I got the chance to do that last year, I think, for the first time, and it was so amazing. Just that we acknowledge the child and the acceptance that the child feels, the pride that the child feels, and like they're mentioning the face, that their face just brightens up when they receive this award from the random teacher. Sometimes they don't even expect it, and that's one of my highlights where I get to nominate a brand ambassador.
Thanks so much, Esther. That's stunning. Shanae, do you want to add anything before we ask the big question? I think we lost Shanae. Shanae, can you hear us? I think we lost her. I think she might have lost.
Just messaged to say she's trying to connect.
Yeah,
she's free.
Yeah, which is fine. So let's look, Crystal, I don't know, Crystal's brand ambassadors were my favorite awards. Oh wow, there Keisha saying brand ambassadors. Is there any other nice comment or criticism, Crystal? You can also pull up the critiques, eh?
Yes, we don't mind those. We don't mind.
Shamila says, as a grade 8 parent, communicating with the grade head, deputy and principal has been key since the start of the year. It allows me to get to know the staff and management of the school. That's the most important with the development of our children. Thanks, Shamila. Guys, that is for you.
Thanks, Mrs. Kader. Thank you.
Appreciating that communication. And then,
yes.
Were you pulling up now, Chris? Anthony says, Sharon, I'm seeing a great spirit amongst the team. This one's Zwaanswyk Academy staff hereby. This is typical Anthony. Sorry, guys. This one's
Well, Anthony up to, Sharon? What's Anthony up to?
This one's Zwaanswyk Academy staff hereby. Challenges this one's Zwaanswyk high school staff to an afternoon of team building and relationship building games on the field. Wow, Anthony. I wonder if they're brave enough to accept go Zwaanswyk.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm so glad you didn't say
Anthony, it's on like a scone. It's on like a scone with there. Come on.
Why did you start now? Why did you start? We're not even getting just a yes. It's like, yeah, we're ready. I can imagine.
Come on.
And don't forget to invite School Corridor to come and have a look and see what fun you're having. So thanks for that. Thanks, Anthony. And then just before we wrap up, Shandre, if there was, and this is the question I ask all the SMTs, if there was somebody who had so much money, somebody who was so, would like to invest in schools and would like to give you whatever you want without putting a price tag to it, what would you ask for? As a school and as individuals, what do you think will you ask that giver to help you with?
My word. Sharon, how much time do I have?
1 minute, because we must not go to a new line, Joe Marie.
So Sharon, just 1 minute to wrap up quickly. 3 projects that for us are very important, completely centered around learners. At the moment, we are working on our biggest project for 2020 to revamp our school quad, because we are planning the matric farewell of all matric farewells for our matric learners at the end of this year after final examinations. And we'd like to host it in our school quad, which at the moment is just not acceptable in its current format. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done on our quad, revamping our quad. We've undertaken that project quite aggressively. And so if there are any pavers, paving companies, building contractors that would like to come alongside us and find out what we're doing, absolutely open to that idea. Our second big project is our sporting facilities, Sharon. We need to revamp and reinvigorate our sporting facilities for our children at Zwaanswyk. We're looking at a new cricket field. We need our rugby soccer field upgraded. We don't have formal netball courts, and we've got about 6 netball teams at our school that play on a section at the back of our school. We need netball courts. We don't have a place for our hockey girls to play hockey. So we're looking for our a section of our school to be transformed. So sporting facilities, we really, really need to upgrade. We want to give our children every opportunity to play sport, excel in sport, enjoy their sport. And so that's a project. A school bus, we need a school bus. We don't have a way to transport our children to plays, to the theatre, to Olympics, to sport matches. We've always got to kind of hire, please can somebody help us, etc., etc. So a bus is always going to be something that we are looking at. We don't have that kind of transport for our children at the moment.
Wow.
Guys, am I leaving anything out? Those are the kind of the biggest projects at the moment. Am I right?
Anushka, anything?
Nothing to add, just to highlight what Shandre is saying. At the moment, the school is embarking on, Shandre mentioned, the first fundraiser we're looking at, or the first revamp we're looking at, is our quad to accommodate Germany's grade 12. So our event will be a trick ball, will be a prize giving, will be a valedictorian. We are starting the fundraising for that officially. We started last week, Friday.
Okay.
So the first thing I do have to highlight, if I may, is we're going to have a Boerewors Roll drive-by sale from our school grounds on Friday, the 9th of October, in order for us to start the revamp for our quad, because that's our first project, because our due date there is December the 12th. Am I correct, Omri, for your event?
That's correct.
Yes.
So
that's correct.
we're hunting for that one at the moment, but I also see Ms. Temba, who heads up consumers at our school, is saying, oh, she wouldn't mind a new kitchen. And I also see Mr. Philander, our previous manager, is saying, hello. And so, hi, Mr. Philander, good to see you there as well in the comments, sir.
Yeah, I like that. A brand new kitchen for consumer studies. Yes. Okay. And then Jo Marie, did you want to add? Esther, do you want to add to the wish list?
Just the school quad, Sharon. It's really just the school quad. We want to give our matrics a special farewell. It can't be a ball. So that's all we want. Yeah, is to revamp the quad, basically.
Okay. And Astrid?
No, totally agree. I feel so bad for the matrics this year, not just for Zwaanswyk, but all matrics 2020. You know, a lot has been taken from them because of COVID-19, and this is the least we can do for them.
Okay. Wow. So I've got your wish list. School quad revamp, and that is really for the matrics and trying to give them the best celebration and thank you and everything. And then you spoke about your sport facilities, and it's very interesting to hear you have 6 netball teams, Shandre, because netball is really a dying sport at many schools. And then offer hockey, and you spoke about other sports as well. And then a school bus, and so guys, the universe is open. The Lord hears people see, and often when people have money, and I'm saying we don't know, but sometimes people don't know what to do, how to contribute, because they feel offended if they bring their 10 rand, their 100 rand. But now they know when they come to Zwaanswyk, I can say, listen, we know you're working on your quad. Here's a 10 rand, here's 100 rand, here I'm giving you my paver, here's your shoulder. You understand? So we're putting it out there, and yes, we'll see who's going to help you at least achieve your main wish, and that is the school quad. So guys,
thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
We're running very well, and I see quite a few people are still commenting, but I'm going to have to just apologize to the community. We will read every single comment, and so will Shandre and her team, and we will get back to you guys. And then Shandre, just a closing comment from each of you, and maybe I should start with Astrid and work my way around to the deputy, then to the principal. Just in closing, what would you like to tell the community? What would you like to tell you? Just any statement you want to make as a closing.
Sharon, I just want to say thank you for inviting us tonight. I was nervous, but I had fun hearing the SMT, hearing you, hearing the comments as well. Thank you for joining us on Facebook, joining School Corridor. Thank you so much. That's all I would like to say.
Thanks, Astrid.
Thank you, Astrid.
I would also like to say thank you for inviting us tonight, Sharon. And in closing, I would just like to give my matrics a shout out and just tell them to hang in there. Even though it was COVID-19, they must just keep on going and they will get there. And we will do everything that we can to support and help.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Awesome.
Anushka?
Yeah, look, I think we're all going to probably say thank you. We are a school that doesn't have very much, but we are a school that recognizes what others give unto us. You spoke about we're a school that will take a 10 Rand. Hell, we'll take a 2 Rand. Give us.
Yes.
We can give something for the kids.
Yes.
And then I also want to simply acknowledge the parent body, the learner body, everybody who's spoken into tonight. Of course, you, Sharon, as well, for inviting us on. And I want to just also commend the staff at our school. Non-teaching staff plus the teaching staff. Sometimes people feel the SMT get all the recognition. Again, it's a very collective effort, and we recognize we sit here in front of whoever this evening, but we sit here mindful of the work and the hours of dedication our colleagues, our parents, our learners put in as well. Our learners are currently embarking on tests and exams and so on, and to them I just want to say, guys, you got this, man. I won't even choose paper I was marking now. You've got this. Don't worry about that mark. There are other papers for we'll get you there.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we're going to allow Shandre, you will have your closing comment just before we wrap up.
Thank you, Sharon. And I just want to echo what the team has shared in the latter part of this meeting, Sharon. It's been such an amazing experience being part of the School Corridor Fireside Chats. I've loved every minute of this last. I can't believe we've been at this for almost an hour and a half.
Yes,
it's been absolutely fabulous. It's been really great. Again, thank you to all that have commented, the questions that have come through. I will answer some of the questions with your permission, Sharon, after our session has ended. But thank you to our parents and our kids that have committed and joined us tonight and let us know that they're out there and they're watching. I need to say to district officials like you, Sharon, like Andre Philander, like my acting circuit manager at the moment, I think about Kay Spears, I think about Granville Stander, I think about all of those of you that have got our backs in the background from the district level, and just to say we acknowledge the incredible work that you do. We thank you for your time, for your support, your guidance that you guys have given us. It really makes a difference in what we do. And then my final comment is to say to mommies and daddies and teachers and SMT members and principals out there, you have a purpose, you have a goal, you have a vision for your own children, for the children that you work with, for the children that are at our schools. And sometimes our children don't always understand the decisions that adults are making, the reasoning behind what we're doing, the motivation. It is in those moments when things become difficult and the challenges seem to overwhelm us that we've got to remind ourselves why we choose to do this job, why we are committed to being good moms and dads, we are committed to being good teachers, good leaders, good principals. What is the goal? What is the vision? Why did we start this? And if we hold on to that purpose and that vision, we are going to get our children the best possible future they can have in this country that we live in this world that we live in. And that is something that we've got to hold on to. So when things get tough, you draw on your support structure and you find a way to make it work, and you hold on to the purpose and the vision, and we do not give up. We do not give up.
Yeah.
And we're going to get them there because we love them.
Yeah.
So thank you for the time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shandre, and to the team. You guys have shared so much with us, and I really must applaud you for your honesty and just giving the good and the bad and the ugly, and especially how you turn the bad and the ugly into something powerful. Really authentic, and that is why we have this channel, you know, that people can see real school leaders, real teachers with real struggles, and we can appreciate what people are doing out there. Are we trying to transform lives? So I salute you as a team. Thanks for coming on to School Corner and then to the community, guys. Fireside Chats are lovely chats because here we talk about everything so that we can hear what's happening everywhere and we can learn from other people's experience. Because like we say, here we want to master our craft because we want to spread our impact. So on that note, School Corridor says, Sharon and Crystal says, cheerio.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.